This is where the best under-21 talent from across the nation comes to compete and make their mark on the game. Good afternoon, everybody. We welcome you to the one and only Manny Pacquiao Jr. MPBL D-League. And we are live here in Glorietta Park, Tala, Caloocan City. Again, we'll be having 3 games for today. First game already done between Mandaluyong and Manila. Second one will be this game, Rosario, Batangas versus San Pedro. In the next game, the homeowners, Caloocan, Batangas going up against the visiting Novaliches Playmakers. It's a good afternoon, everybody. The name is Chop Pangilinan, this time covering the action with Sir Eman Cabiles and Richie Sanggalang at the sideline. So finally, good to have you here, Sir Eman.
Thank you very much, Joe. At yan, nahanap din natin ng Tala. I just followed the star.
But now let's follow kung sino bang maglalaro sa ating games. Both teams trying to find their rhythm as we're still in the early part of our seasons. First, talking about the Rosario Batangas ICC Bluehawks, and then of course, San Pedro Mamba.
Right, let's talk about the ICC Bluehawks first of Rosario Batangas. That's the Immaculada Concepcion College. They won their last game versus the Quezon Huskers. That was last week, 71-57. And what spelled the difference for them is basically their defense. They generated 17 steals that translated to 21 points, and that's the big advantage in the end game versus the Quezon Huskers. And in that game, it was William Triste of the ICC Bluehawks who had a monster game with 18 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, nagdagan pa ng 3 steals.
And again, ICC Bluehawks, sabi ko nga, both teams trying to find their rhythm. They're 2-1, kalaban naman nila San Pedro Mamba, 1-1. So both teams again, you know, hopefully yung efforts ng kanilang mga players will be enough to find their footing and of course give them the W for today. But for now, let's talk about naman San Pedro's win against the Quezon Huskers too.
Right, so San Pedro Mamba last August 18, and they got the victory also against the Quezon Huskers. So parang pinag-practicean yung Quezon Huskers. Ang dalawang teams na ito na magtatapat ngayon. No? However, San Pedro Mamba had a smaller deficit versus San Pedro against the Quezon Huskers. They won 65-57, and in that game they actually lost the rebound battle, no, and the 3-point shooting against the Quezon Huskers. However, they moved the ball better, and also their second chance points. They were plus 8 basically. Or 9 and second chance points, and that translates to their 8-point victory.
So both teams coming off W's and will continue to find their groove in this game. Hopefully Triste and Magpali will, the efforts from both of those players will be enough for their respective teams to gain the W, but unfortunately only one can prevail. But now, wag na tayong magsayang ng oras pa. Let's turn it over to our venue announcer, Denzel Santiago.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Junior MPBL Fest welcomes to Tala Glorietta Gymnasium here in Caloocan City as we bring you the continuation of Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL D-League, ang liga ng bawat batang Pilipino. It's the second game of today's triple header featuring ICC Bluehawks and San Pedro Mamba. We are live on our official Facebook page and YouTube channel of Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL. And now it's time to meet the starters, beginning with the ICC Bluehawks. Guard number 25, John Brett Seninieto. Also guard number 5, William Triste. Forward number 15, Joshua Bolance. Also forward number 0, Serwin Laron. Playing center number 22, Mark Apepe. Head coach of ICC Bluehawk, Ogie Gumatsay. Assisted by Paul De La Cruz. Nino Gumatsay. Team manager Marco Agana. Team builder Mayor Lovi Gildo. Vice Mayor Atsanako Sama. Forward number 1, Joshua Mingilio. Also forward number 19, John Sandoval. Playing center number 15, Monamon Magsino. Head coach of San Pedro, Mamba, Chris Xavier. Said by Bong Manzelo, Paulo Ramirez. Team manager, Alvin Lugo. Team owner, as old name, Melvin Matiba.
And our go-ride bola ng Pinoy. Team starters for San Pedro, it's Melka Enriquez, Mingilio, Sandoval, and Magsino. For Batangas, it's Seniedo, Triste, Volante, Laran, and Apepe. And again, just to clarify, or just to recap rather, both teams will continue to find their groove after coming off W's. Itong ICC Bluehawks Rosario Batangas, 2-1, winning against Quezon, Binyan, but losing to Zamboanga. Ito naman San Pedro, winning against Quezon but losing to Palawan. The first possession of the game belonging to San Pedro. And we are hearing the drums, of course, courtesy of the ICC Bluehawks band. Meanwhile, first bucket of the game belonging to San Pedro.
That's right, Joshua Mingilio. Baseline drive of that beautiful assist by Magsino.
Meanwhile, first blood for Rosario Batangas is a three-point bomb. Volante from downtown. Meanwhile, Magsino on top against Seniedo. Magsino nowhere to go. Mingilio trying to get free. They almost lose it. Milka against Triste. It's still with them. They have 1 second to shoot. But they won't shoot, as that'll be a shot clock violation called on Enriquez.
That time, the defense of ICC Bluehawks that we just mentioned in full effect, and that is something to hold San Pedro in their offensive thrust, because of course itong very capable itong players ng San Pedro Mamba, and for you to lock them down, no, it's a sign of things to come para dito sa ICC Bluehawks.
Meanwhile, inside Volante, top shot, 5 points already for him.
Volante right in traffic and doing the stretch from left to right.
Again, that's 5 points already for Volante. Meanwhile, San Pedro able to draw a foul as Apepe over-pressuring the offensive player and Joshua Mingilio. Milka up top against William Triste. Sandoval at the elbow. Finds Magsino inside. That was intended for Milka but intercepted by Volante. Seniedo this time inside. That is short. On the run is Magsino but hands it off. San Pedro having possession. Magsino. Sandoval sends it inside. That's going to be a foul call as Enriquez will go to the free throw line for 2.
One thing about this ICC Bluehawks squad, Sean, when they play defense, it is very evident yung school program nila sa basketball. And of course, well, let's just say that they play defense together. And it is creating all sorts of problems para naman dito sa opensa ng San Pedro Mamba.
Definitely a different breed. You're a school-based squad. As Enriquez will miss that first freebie.
Of course, players of San Pedro Mamba also included in several schools, no? Also playing as varsitarians in their respective schools. Kaya lang, iba-iba. Hiwalay-hiwalay. And I wonder kung ano yung practice time nila as a team, talking about the San Pedro Mamba, if it is enough. No?
Well, that is, the setup of most teams here in the junior MPBL D-League. So definitely, kapag school-based ka, very convenient for you and for your team. As that is a miss from the William Triste. Here comes Juan Irving Daha. As we're seeing him for the first time in this ball game.
Of course, a stalwart of the College of St. Benil, itong si Bon Daha, and I had the privilege to see him play recently
There's two Bondas,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you have to say Irvin and Ernest.
So Irvin, tama.
and they look alike then.
Right, right. Magkapatid eh. So yeah, I had the pleasure of seeing him play recently in the ANTA Shock the Game tournament. Oh, by the way, hi James Cruz. And yeah, he did well representing CSP in that game. However, iba yung nag-champion.
Meanwhile, Mingilio on that drive, 4 points already for that young man.
And Mingilio again making wonders on that part of the court, the driving baseline, no, sa left side.
Meanwhile, Volante nowhere to go, sends it out. They continue to attack. ICC still with the ball. Volante rising up. That won't go in, but the putback is good for Serwin Laran. 75 now, 2-point lead for Rosario Batangas. Daha to Mingilio. He attacks, rises up. No good on the shot. Triste hustles for the board. Here comes the William Triste. Hands it up to Volante, and that's 2 more points for him. 7 points already, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, and just when you think that you have to put a body always on William Triste, who played superb in the last game of the ICC Bluehawks, here comes Volante, doing most of the damage so far in this game.
Yeah, 7 out of 9 points coming from Volante alone, but right now he shall go to the free throw line for 2. And again, this ICC Bluehawks squad already playing 3 games. This is their 4th. But we'll talk about that more after this Nature Spring timeout called by the San Pedro Mamba. They are currently trailing by 4, just under 6 minutes remaining in our chapter number 1.
The second game of the day is quite exciting as we have ICC Bluehawks, Rosario Batangas, and San Pedro Mamba, both teams planning to start or to have their winning streak moment. Familiarity, kumpiyansa sa isa't isa, at aggressiveness in the court ay ang kanilang advantage coming from their key player na si Do William Trisme. Bagamat wala ang kanilang homegrowns na sila Ayong, Lucero at Ducay, Trisme is quite confident with their system and their teammates, saying, quote-unquote, ang big man namin ay kayang mag 3 points at mag-penetrate sa loob. Ang guards namin ay mabibilis at kaya lahat namin pumuntos. We can say that Trisme is quite confident with his team, Cho and Eman.
Thank you very much, Richie, for that report. And indeed, you know, that guy, the William Triste. You know, not the biggest guy, but definitely the fastest guy on the court.
And he was really quite impressive in their last game over at Escopa 3 Quezon City last week, no? When it was his efforts that basically gave his team the victory in that big lead against the Quezon Huskers.
Yeah, and he's averaging close to 19 points. 5 boards and 6 dimes. Talk about an all-around performance. Meanwhile, on Ernest Daha. Lose the leather to Serwin Laran. Here comes to William Triste, to Volante, back to Triste. Oh, bus driver comes up.
Wow. That give and go was perfect between these two. And in that last play, si Volante naman ang nagbigay ng assist kay Triste.
Mingilio finds Daha. First points of the game for Bon Ernest Daha.
And that's what Bon Ernest Daha does. Even with the awkward shots, no, he's able to convert.
And I don't think his brother is actually in the bench. Talking about Bon Irvin Daha.
Right?
Right now, that'll be a miss from ICC. Here comes Mingilio. Send it inside, the spin. That's defended very well, actually, by Rosario Batangas. And so far, again, Volante having 9 points in this ball game. Started that early run for Rosario Batangas as he'll take a breather, and replacing him is Castillo. Meanwhile, San Pedro tried that knockout play but it's unsuccessful. Fortunately, it returns with them.
Right, and showing active hands on several plays itong si Laran of the ICC Bluehawks. He had several deflections already and even a steal.
Meanwhile,
Oh, wow.
Segnedo, basket earned one.
That was a sprint 100-meter dash, and winning was number 25, right? John Red Segnedo. There you go.
Let's take another look on this pound-for-pound fitness foul counted move. Talk about stepping on the gas pedal. That is John Red Segnedo. I mean, if you're gonna ask me, that guy is the William Triste 2.0 basically.
Yes.
You know, tulang yung pinagkaiba nila eh. Si Triste 5, siya 25.
Right. Tapos, konti lang din yung difference sa kapal ng afro.
Naka-headband lang isa.
Right.
Right now, it's with Mingilio. Will fire a three. He won't hit. San Pedro. Get it back. Triste against the steal. Castillo to Segnedo. John Red Segnedo once again.
And that is an efficient, two efficient fast breaks ran by the ICC Bluehawks. Both Segnedo anchoring it.
Oh, good hustle coming from Castillo. And a foul going to be committed by Mingilio.
Right. And this patented defense of ICC Bluehawks in full effect right now. San Pedro really unable to execute because of this very, very pesky defense. Hindi lang sa full court, no? Even on the half court sets of San Pedro, they are unable to execute.
Wait a minute. Oh, that's gonna be a turnover as Laran tried to pass it to the cutting Segnedo but unsuccessful on that sequence.
Kahit pa paano nasabayan ng defender si Segnedo on that backdoor cut. And the ball just...
Malabanan. Nowhere to go. Pedro has it. It's outside. Dural. Another handoff. Daha from deep. Kaboom!
Bon Ernest Daha, capable of knocking it down from anywhere in the court. I've seen him do it several times early this year.
He cuts the lead to 7 for Rosario Batangas. Meanwhile, Triste rising up for that inside the key jumper. We enter the last 2 minutes of our chapter number 1. Daha against Triste. Daha, Labanan, floater. Not that time. Laran, high pass, long pass to Segnedo and to Castillo. Good defense played right there by San Pedro.
Joshua Milka holding the fort there with several ICC Bluehawks coming his way. And kahit papano, maintaining his verticality and disrupting 2 shots at least.
So it's a 9-point lead for Rosario Batangas. Again, under 2 minutes remaining. Ernest Daha brings it down. He's up against Castillo. Castillo will commit a foul. So that is the limit already for Rosario Batangas. So Ernest Daha will now, or rather the whole team of San Pedro will take penalty free throws in the next fouls as first freebie is good for Ernest. And so far that's 6 points, including that freebie for Ernest Daha. 2 out of 2 for Bon Ernest Daha.
Right, and I'm sure the drums, well, our viewers can hear those very loud drums that was brought by the ICC Bluehawks crew.
Meanwhile, a 3-point bomb released by Rosario Batangas, giving them a 10-point lead. Under a minute remaining. Daha directing the offense. He will lose the leather. Padilla This time it's Serwin Laran. Last minute pass. Oh, that's gonna be a turnover.
Right. The intention was good by Laran to drop it off to his teammate Reyanoga. However, wala na sa buwelo at sa posisyon when the ball came to Ryan Reyanoga.
Meanwhile, here comes Bon Ernest Tala. He attacks. Oh! Unable to complete the coast-to-go sequence. Meanwhile, Ernest is swinging it around. The steal. Baliena all the way.
And these ICC Bluehawks are flying. Number 42, Jonathan Baliena, just saw his defender trying to chase him down, pero just took off early, finished to the left.
Last 9 seconds, down to 7. Daha looking at the clock. Ernest Daha. Oh, that's gonna be an offensive foul called on the Mamba. Also Joshua Lamalabanan called on that off-ball offensive foul. But a Nature Spring timeout going to be called by the Rosario Batangas ICC Bluehawks. They're up by 12, just 3.6 seconds remaining in chapter number 1.
Remaining time,
3.6 seconds remaining in chapter number 1. So far, it's ICC on top by 12 points. No good on that buzzer beater attempt. And that'll be it for chapter number 1. Again, it's 24 to 12. A 12-point difference as ICC sits on top of their opponents, San Pedro Mamba. And we'll return for the start of our second quarter. Once again, this is the one and only Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL D-League. The score is 24 to 12. ICC on top as we continue the game and the second quarter. Baliena putting on the moves, but looks like Castillo steps out of bounds.
That's right. Going back to the first period, Cho, all numbers favoring the ICC Bluehawks right here as they shot 55% from the field while limiting San Pedro to only 26%. And also, ICC Bluehawks already has 12 fast break points and none so far from San Pedro.
Yeah, that's half of their points right now.
Right.
So it looks like that is indeed their bread and butter. And I've covered this team previously, so I can attest to that. That is indeed their bread and butter.
And those fast break points, of course, generated by the 6 steals that the ICC Bluehawks forced San Pedro to do.
Meanwhile, Maxino Pedro grabs the offensive board, sends it out, they fire from G. They won't connect. Mingilio, good hustle on the rebound, but unable to complete the putback. 2 freebies coming up for him. So far, Mingilio having 4 points in this contest, just below Ernest Da's 7.
Right. And in the last play, Mingilio, good effort trying to get that, getting that offensive rebound against 2 Bluehawks. And right now sinking the first free throw of his.
Also has 5 points, or rather has 4 rebounds and 5 points, and 1 dime. And we'll go 2 out of 2. As they're still down by 10. Meanwhile, Anda, it's still with ICC as they have 10 seconds to work with. Baliena attacks, Baliena basket and 1. Zigzagging his way to the cup is Baliena.
See it once again, 2 killer crossovers there and the stretch with the left. Baliena.
Pound for pound fitness foul counted move. But he won't complete that 3-point play, but it's a 4-point play as the putback is good. Courtesy of Bert Progilia. Meanwhile, Milka, Mingilio being pressured. That's gonna be a foul call on Castillo.
Lucky break there for the San Pedro Mamba as Castillo was a bit over-eager, on that play because they already trapped Mingilio in the midcourt.
And now let's turn it over to Richie Sanggalang for a report.
Next man up, lahat magsi-step up. Ito ang sabi ni Uno Bidor with the absence of Eco Magpali, San Pedro Mamba's key player. Aminado si Uno na mukhang mahihirapan sila in today's game knowing that the ICC Bluehawks are school-based and most probably hindi ito ang first time nilang magkakalaro sa isang team. Opposite with the San Pedro Mamba, nagaling sa ibang liga ng nagkakilala. Despite this, Uno Bidor still remains positive dahil hindi sila nakakulong sa sistema na binigay ni Coach at binigyan sila ng freedom ni Coach Chris na to play kung paano sila maglaro. Makatulong kaya ito, Joy and Eman?
Thank you very much, Richie, for that report. And again, another case of a team missing dearly their star player. And for San Pedro, that's Eco Magpali.
That's right. Of course, for context, Sean, in our first game, the primary gun of Mandaluyong Michael Smith was not able to play, and yeah, they lost by a huge margin against the Manila City Health Forum. Dito naman sa San Pedro, si Magpali is absent at the moment.
So hopefully it won't be the same outcome as it's still early in the ball game, just in our second period. A lot of chances for San Pedro. Meanwhile, Reyanoga, 2 3-pointers already for the young man. Ernest Daha has the basketball. Sends it inside, a steal right here. Baliena is running. Reyanoga trying to get free, but that is poked away. It's out of bounds, but it will stay with the white shirts.
Si Ryan Reyanoga para lang nagti 3-point shootout, first shot from the corner and then from the elbow. 2 attempts, 2 makes.
And not to mention the 20-point lead already that ICC has against their opponent San Pedro. Meanwhile, Reyanoga asking for a pick. He puts one up, but that is short. Meanwhile, it's now with San Pedro. Maxino slips out of it. Will lose the leather. Baliena quick to pick it up. Jonathan Baliena. Crossover move. Dusting off his defenders.
Jonathan may have this. Jonathan's surname is Baliena, but he moves like a swordfish right there.
Let's take another look. Again.
In a blink of an eye, now you see him, now you don't.
36-14, Nature Spring timeout called by the San Pedro Mamba. There's over 6 minutes remaining in chapter number 2. Back to the action right here. They got a 36-14. It's a 22-point lead after that. Jonathan Balihena lay-in. There goes San Pedro. Mingilio to Sandoval inside. Translation jumper to the other side, and that's good. Courtesy of Jello Enriquez.
Finally, San Pedro Mamba able to execute and get their offense to go as Jello knocked down a baseline jumper.
Jonathan Balihena once again sends it out. They fire from deep. No good from Rianoga. And here comes Mingilio. Steps on the brakes, puts one up. Over shooting it. Here comes Rianoga. Oh, on point, passing to Jonathan Balihena.
Those two, even with Du Williams Triste sitting on the bench, taking up the cudgels, Rianoga and Balihena continuing to do damage versus the San Pedro Mamba.
Talk about an overall team effort.
Oh yes. And
Kita mo.
like we said, no, his surname may be Balihena, but he moves like a swordfish. Ang bilis eh.
Meanwhile, speaking of the William Triste, sabi niya ako naman.
Oo nga.
As he's gonna sub in a while.
Right.
Meanwhile, Rianoga from deep, he will miss it.
And naintriga tuloy ako, John. I think Jonathan Balihena has Aquaman tats sa kanyang left arm.
So right now, I believe the William Triste will now be subbing in. Sabi niya ako naman. But right now, 2 freebies coming up for Jello Enriquez as San Pedro down by 22.
So this is interesting. Both Balihena and Triste at the floor at the same time. Oh, I think I spoke too soon as I coming back in. Is Triste's bro. No?
I mean, if he wasn't wearing a wristband and a headband, I'll be confused. I'd be confused of who the real Triste was. But right now, Jello Enriquez, first freebie is good.
At this point for San Pedro Mamba, they have to practice patience in their offense, and at the same time, do not get caught in the perimeter because nandun yung strength ng depensa ng ICC Bluehawks, no?
Again, it's definitely gonna be a hard task if you're facing against a school-based team. Pero that time, nakaisa itong San Pedro.
Good job there by Sunga and number 34 to crowd yung rebounder ng ICC Bluehawks and able to get the steal.
Meanwhile, Serwin Laran.
That was too easy, Cho.
Finding his way to the cup. Meanwhile, Ervin Daha, or Ernest Daha rather, Malaban this time inside, finding another gap.
And that was a dream shake right there. Ala Hakim. Getting 2 defenders to bite dun sa kanyang fake, no?
Speaking of getting defenders to bite, Laran able to penetrate, unable to sink it, but will shoot 2 freebies.
Yeah, the last bucket by Laran, as I said, that was too easy as he just blew by the tallest of defenders ng San Pedro, who was Doral, and just laid it up and in. Tapos sinubukan niya ulit from the right side naman.
And at the line, Serwin Laran averaging close to 11 points, 8 rebounds, and more than 3 dimes in their last 3 games. Second freebie on its way for Serwin. And that's good. Meanwhile, San Pedro, they're down by 21. Sunga. Hands it off to Aguinaldo. Picked up by Laran. This time it's Triste against him. Sunga. Rather, that's Dural. That's good at that fadeaway by the big guy, Dural.
And there it is. As I've said, San Pedro needs to practice patience, and right there, Dural was able to get things going. Hindi nila minadali yung tira, and Dural got the jumper. And like a ninja, na sneaking in to the game. Magpali is now on the floor for San Pedro. We just mentioned na he's not in the building, but yeah, apparently nakahabol na si Magpali. So good news for the San Pedro Mamba.
And same with Bon Irvin Daha,
Right.
the brother of Ernest. So that's added reinforcement to the side of San Pedro.
Yes, and much needed as yeah, they are down by 20 right now.
Nagtataka lang ako ba't hindi sabay yung dalawang magkapatid. May kanya-kanyang pinuntahan.
Para hindi tayo malito. Pareho pati pati initials eh. Kulang na lang number, pareho rin.
Pati itsura, Meanwhile, Duran hands it off. Drums in full effect. Aguinaldo attacking. Aguinaldo, no good at the attack though. They try to get it back, and they do, but they won't score. That's now with ICC.
And that is the result of lack of warm-up. Yung tira na yun ni Magpali from 9 feet, no? Short. Wala pa yung pulso niya.
Meanwhile, in and out, but they get it back. Laran able to draw another foul, and that's
Right.
going to be 2 freebies again for him as mukhang nag-enjoy naman siya sa laro natin.
Oh yes, sir, Laran, doing what he does best. Basically the dirty work, no, para sa ICC Bluehawks, battling with bigger opponents inside. Bangga dito, bangga doon, nakangiti pa rin itong si Serwin Laran.
First freebie on its way for Serwin as he'll miss it. And it's 44 to 23. Both teams no more fouls to give in our second period. Second one on its way for Laran. And he'll go 0 out of 2. And here comes San Pedro, but that's going to be a turnover as Arejola didn't catch that pass. Or that pass was too strong for him.
Another player without warm-up for San Pedro who just arrived at the venue, itong si Arejola. And in that specific play, I think Arejola was at fault because if you're asking for a go-ahead pass, hindi mo pwedeng hintayin yung bola. You have to keep running and expect that the ball will fall in your path, no?
Jump Arejola, member of the Batangas squad, who
Right.
recently competed. Same with Irvin Daha.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
what a
that's a
block.
block coming from Rosario's number 45, Tomol. Meanwhile, on the other side, Seniedo will score.
Seniedo, basically, every time Triste is on the floor, Seniedo is the designated finisher sa fast breaks itong ICC Bluehawks. But let's talk about that beautiful block by Tomol, no? Earlier because nahuli na siya doon eh. That was basically a chase down, but Tomol recovering and getting that block against the tallest player on the floor.
But San Pedro Mamba able to score with that Bon Irvin Daha lay-in. Again, so 2 Batanginas members in San Pedro as Triste fades away, but that won't go in. Magpali is running. Oh, that was intended for Daha, but Triste, good defense from him, and Seniedo rising up.
Again, finishing the fast break for the Bluehawks, Seniedo.
And 2 balls almost hit each other.
Yes, and right now, San Pedro really impatient in their offense, trying to play at the pace nitong ICC Bluehawks. Pero unsuccessful as this game, the tempo of this game is being dictated by ICC.
Meanwhile, it is poked away by Seniedo, but possession staying with the Mamba. They're trailing by 25, just 32 seconds remaining in chapter number 2. Arejola. This time it's Magpali. He won't hit the rebound by Tomol.
That's right. So far, Magpali, 0 out of 2 from the floor. And as we've said, wala pang warm-ups to. Itong si Magpali, si Irvin Daha, and Arejola as well.
Triste crossover move. Will lose it against Magpali. And it slips out of the leather. So possession going back to ICC, perhaps for the last shot of our first half.
Sayang yun, Magpali. Picking the pocket of Triste, which is quite a thing to do.
Meanwhile, Triste Send it to the corner. And no good on that buzzer beater attempt coming from Siniedo. Nonetheless, they have a 25-point lead to end our first half. And they are indeed in the front seat of not just a car, but perhaps a bus. As San Pedro still struggling. And we'll return for the start of our second half. Once again, this is the one and only Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL D-League.
Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL
would like to thank Dorite Bola ng Pinoy, the first Pinoy basketball brand, Don Benitos, ang pambansang cassava, Nature Spring, #1 bottled water in the Philippines, pound for pound fitness, Be Liga Ready, Jinky Skin, empowering women by redefining beauty, Pound Active, for quality sportswear, Wing Bowl, it's like coming home, Chris Jacob Collection, for affordable but quality daily perfumes.
Mga kaliga, kasama natin ang team owner ng San Pedro Mamba na si Sir Melvin Matibag. Sir, no, nahihirapan po ang inyong team in the first half of the game. Sa tingin niyo po ba, ano po ba yung next measures na kailangan niyong gawin?
I think we have to make a lot of adjustments, especially sa defense. There are a lot of turnovers at saka siguro medyo matagal hindi nakapaglaro yung team namin. So, nag-a-adjust pa rin siguro. Hopefully by the second quarter, they will play a better team.
Galing po sa iba't ibang team, liga ang inyong mga players. Can you tell us more about their team chemistry now?
Well, medyo mas marami ng adjustment. Marami na kasing practice na nangyari. And they've been playing together for quite some time. Every week, meron silang 2 to 3 times na practice. So, siguro, yung mga ginagawa nila sa practice na team chemistry that should be done dito sa second quarter.
Meron po ba kayong mensahe na gustong ibahagi sa mga aspiring basketball players na nanonood sa atin ngayon?
Well, siguro yung mensahe namin is the name of our team itself, it's Mamba, because it was taken from the Mamba mentality of NBA star Kobe Bryant. So, siguro practice lang, tsaka talagang if you really love the game, persevere. And itong MPBL is a good ground to train yung mga young athletes natin for basketball.
These are such inspiring words coming from you po. No? May mga gusto po ba kayong batiin o pasalamatan?
Well, una-una salamat sa aking wife, Congresswoman Ann Matibag, for supporting the team, and of course, the entire people of San Pedro City. Salamat.
Mga kaliga natin sa team owner, Sir Melvin Matibag of San Pedro Mamba.
Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL
Would like to thank Dorite Bola ng Pinoy, the first Pinoy basketball brand, Don Benitos, ang pambansang cassava, Nature Spring, #1 bottled water in the Philippines, pound for pound fitness, Be Liga Ready, Jinky Skin, empowering women by redefining beauty, Pound Active, for quality sportswear, Wing Bowl, it's like coming home, Chris Jacob Collection, for affordable but quality daily perfumes.
And at the half, it's 50-25 again. The Rosario Batangas ICC Bluehawks managing to give themselves a more than comfortable 25-point lead against the San Pedro Mamba. And clearly, San Pedro Mamba having a difficulty, lalo na on that fast break transition defense.
That's right. We're waiting now for the halftime stats to be on your screen. As we take a look at some of the highlights in the first half, and most of them coming from the ICC Bluehawks. So once again, the score is 50-25, 25-point lead by the ICC, who is shooting 58% from the field as opposed to only San Pedro Mamba, and they are running their fast breaks with precision, like hawks hunting, hunting for their prey. And yeah, the ICC Bluehawks already has 19 fast break points to only 2 by the San Pedro Mamba, and that's basically why the ICC Bluehawks is up by 25 points.
That disparity is what is all that we need to know to conclude what kind of first half it has been for the ICC Bluehawks and how they made it difficult for the San Pedro Mamba. But of course, we still have an eternity of basketball to be played and a lot of chances for the San Pedro Mamba to bounce back in this one. And we're just waiting for the start of our second half. As the buzzer sounds, we'll be heading to our third period. And we would like to thank the following, of course, Dorite Bola ng Pinoy, pound for pound. Biliga Ready Nature Spring, the #1 bottled water in the Philippines. Don Benitos, ang pambansang kasava. Jinky Skin, empowering women by redefining beauty. Pound Active for quality sportswear. Red Dynasty Seafood and Hot Pot Restaurant. Winford Resort Casino Resort and Casino Manila. And CF Moto. Thank you very much for your support in our Junior MPBL D-League. So right now, we're seeing the ICC Bluehawks huddling. And, you know, that's one of the good things about this ICC Bluehawks team. They're up by 25, but you don't see them, or you don't see any sign of complacency from them.
Oh, no. And, of course, the offense of this ICC Bluehawks is spearheaded by their backcourt. Their starters, their starting guards, Triste and Seniedo. Am I saying it right? Yeah, Seniedo, doing a lot of damage. And then when they were given a rest at pumasok na itong si Baliena, right? And Rianoga, ganun pa rin. Ganun pa rin yung flow ng offense sila. And yeah, with Baliena and Rianoga hitting a lot of buckets. Of course, itong si Rianoga nakadalawang tres and a lot of layups of beautiful drives ang ginawa naman ni Jonathan Baliena. So it shows kung gaano ka-efficient itong Bluehawks of Immaculada Concepcion College.
And definitely a testament to how the system is implemented, not only to Triste, to Seniedo, but also the bench guys like Jonathan Baliena. Meanwhile, first possession of the third period belonging to San Pedro. Malabanan fades away, in and out of that shot. Rebound captured by Serwin Laran.
On the part of San Pedro naman, some of their key players just trickled into the venue. Hindi sila sabay-sabay dumating. And yeah, players like Magpali, the other Daha, well, both Dahas, I don't believe they had enough warm-ups, no?
Yeah, and relatively late din si Ernest.
Right. And of course, pag hindi ka nakapag-warm up, your rhythm is, it will take time for you to find your rhythm in the game. And that is the case here, basically for San Pedro Mamba.
Speaking of both Dahas, both of them are actually playing at the same time right now. So hopefully that'll make a difference. So right now it's Volante at the sideline inbound. Triste. They have the upper hand. De William, the spin, rises up. One couple of boots coming from De William. Triste.
That was prime Chris Paul right there. De William Triste, the spin and the pull-up at the elbow.
Meanwhile, Sandoval, San Pedro having possession. They take it inside. Malabanan against Apepe. Good defense by Apepe. And here comes Seniedo to Laran. Another fast break play completed by ICC.
As we mentioned, the precision of the fast breaks of these ICC Bluehawks is next level.
Meanwhile, Ernest Daha inside. Send it outside. Good passing from them. Aguinaldo from deep. They won't connect. Daha gets it back though. Malabanan tried to reach it, but that's gonna be a call. A kickball violation rather.
Yeah, going back to the fast break plays of ICC Bluehawks, so they always find the right guy. They make the extra passes, be it the go ahead, the long pass, or even the short passes. But they always find the best player in position to make a bucket. And at that time, talagang nagpapasakit ng ulo ng San Pedro itong Fro Bros na si Triste and Seniedo.
And they seem to like to share the ball a lot.
Right.
Again, they had that bus driver conductor play a while ago.
And it goes both ways, di ba? Minsan si Triste nagda-drive, minsan itong si Seniedo, like in that last sequence.
So second freebie coming up for Triste after hitting that first one. And he'll go 2 out of 2. Here comes Pedro Mamba. Full court pressure implemented by ICC. Daha, Aguinaldo, asking for a pick. Shot clock down to 10. Aguinaldo sends it inside. They put one up off the glass. It's good.
Finally, after 3 minutes, San Pedro able to score in this third quarter, in courtesy of Irving Daha.
Meanwhile, Seniedo, that came from Triste. Seniedo thought about the 3. Bulante will fire. Won't connect. There goes Pedro Mamba. Daha agas, Daha. That is short.
So after the younger Daha scores, the elder Daha tried, however missing. At buti naman si lucky for San Pedro, Maxino was there, and he's now at the line.
So far it has only been, or rather it is Irvin Daha leading the charge for San Pedro with 7 points. Sa kabilang banda naman, Serwin Laran leading the charge with 10 points, pero itong si Rianoga at Bulante having 9 points each.
Right. So very balanced itong scoring ng ICC Bluehawks. No? And once again, it is a testament on how well they play as a team. Sobrang galing nila as a team na yung sentro nila nagbababa ng bola. Itong si Lara na acting as the point center for the ICC Bluehawks.
Exactly, not something you see every day.
Right.
Meanwhile, Seniedo to Serwin Laran from deep. He won't hit it.
That was a good play by Seniedo. However, Laran missing the open 3. Pero look at Seniedo fighting with the bigs and getting the benefit of the ball as Daha was called for the push.
So 14 seconds to shoot for ICC. Seniedo, baseline inbound. A Pepe trying to get free. It's Laran instead. Knockout play for ICC.
Seniedo set up Laran the first time, hindi pumasok. So got the second one to go.
And a bucket good by Sandoval, but they're still trailing by 28. Meanwhile, Apepe hands it off to Triste. The pick from Apepe. Triste will use it, will rise up, but won't knock that down.
In and out para kay Drew Williams instead.
On the run. San Pedro, but they will step on the brakes. Aguinaldo, the spin, the handoff. Dural, another handoff. This time is Pagpali to the corner. But fouled on the act of shooting was Aguinaldo.
Good movement right there by Aguinaldo at first, trying to set up his teammate after the spin and the drop pass, but repositioned when the first try was a no-go. And ngayon, he is awarded with 3 free throws. And we've commended ito si Du Williams Triste with his excellent defense at the perimeter. Pero that time, he fouled the jump shooter, a three-point shooter at that. However, Aguinaldo missing the first.
Chloe Aguinaldo averaging 7 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists in 28 minutes of action in the last 3 games of the San Pedro Mamba.
Dalawa na namimitis Aguinaldo. Is it the drums?
I mean, to some extent, that must be effective.
That's right. Of course, may mga players dito ang San Pedro Mamba. Nasanay na dyan.
Exactly.
Oh, 3 misses from the line. Probably the drums.
Not probably. More, definitely the drums.
Definitely.
Meanwhile, Castillo. That was from Laran. This time it's Siniedo. The pick offered by Apepe. He rises up. No good from Siniedo. And this guy, Aguinaldo, handling it at the break. Fights Sandoval. Oh! Up and under move in the air.
Perfect time pass by Aguinaldo and finding the big guy who was rewarded for running quick on the fast break play.
This time Triste able to draw himself a foul. You know, with the body language of Triste, it's obvious he's just enjoying the basketball game.
Yeah. And that is key, partner. No? If you're not having fun with what you're doing, why do it at all?
Exactly. Actually, kahit nga close game, parang ganyan pa rin yung reaction niya. Hindi yata ngumingiti yan or ano eh. Ganyan na talaga siya.
Neutral. Oh, what a ball fake by Laran. Kaya lang, nandun na yung deception. It worked. However, the layup would not fall.
Meanwhile, Magpali still unable to find his groove. Magsino inside.
Oh, good. Good fundamentally sound low post play by Magsino. Go baseline. Utilize the shot fake and get yourself to the free throw line.
So Magsino will shoot some freebies for San Pedro. We're talking about his guy averaging close to 7 points.
Again, the drums playing the sixth defender para dito sa ICC Bluehawks. No? Kala mo, free ka na sa free throw, pero hindi.
Also averaging 7.5 rebounds, 2 dimes in 27 minutes of action in 2 games, in the last 3 games rather, of San Pedro. And here comes Triste.
5 straight misses now from the line ng San Pedro.
Meanwhile, Castillo from the corner knocks it down.
And that really hurts the San Pedro Mambas. You miss 5 free throws, tapos you give up a corner 3 to your opponent, and this lead has ballooned to 29.
Yes, a Nature Spring timeout going to be called by San Pedro Mamba.
Comparing the situation of the ICC Bluehawks na magkakateam na at school-based sila, sa San Pedro Mamba naman, bagamat lahat sila ay homegrown, galing sila sa iba't ibang liga, mostly sa street basketball at interliga silang nakakalaro at magkakakilala. They have a long way to go in the basketball scene. Let's see how this goes for them. Cho and Eman?
Thank you very much, Richie. And, obviously ICC is a school-based team. Meron talking about this San Pedro Mamba. Merong members of Batangas.
Right.
Merong collegiate players. And then meron ding barangay players. So, very diverse.
Right. And, of course, the key there for a team like that is practice time. And I'm sure it is also an issue as well para dito sa San Pedro Mamba to get all these players together at to practice. Swerte na makapag-practice sila twice a week. No? As opposed to the ICC Bluehawks, I'm sure araw-araw nakikita-kita yung mga yan.
Siguro sawa na nga sila sa isa't isa.
And yeah, it really shows in the way they play, no? The chemistry, the way they move the ball.
Meanwhile, that's gonna be a block.
And the way they defend.
Everything, basically. And by the way, Itong si Bon Irvin Daha playing for 18 under of Mandaluyong din. So, actually maraming players here in our junior MPBL playing
Right.
for both 18 and 21 under divisions.
Right.
So definitely he's far from 21.
Jonathan Baliena is back in the game now for Rosario Batangas ICC Bluehawks.
Serwin Laran, this time up top, hands it off to Rianoga. He attacks, intercepted. And here goes Magpali, but steps on the brakes.
Good anticipation there by Magpali.
Meanwhile, Arejola to Magsino, the spin, the attack. Oh, beautiful move coming from Magsino.
Magsino with the spin and the English on that shot. And yeah, the soft touch enabled the ball to just bounce in.
Meanwhile, Serwin Laran, no go, but again, you gotta love the confidence of their center to
Right.
take 3-point shots. Sabi mo nga kanina, center, nagbababa ng bola eh.
Right, and again, it is a testament on the chemistry of this team. And they really know each other, and andun yung trust, the trust that regardless of your position, if you are free to take the shot, take it.
Speaking of taking it, Champ Arejola overshooting that shot.
Although that time, sana dapat hindi niya yata tinigil.
Meanwhile, that's no good. Arejola gets it for San Pedro. Meanwhile, Doral, erased! Or is that a foul?
No, that was a clean
Clean.
block. Yes, and the flex right after. What a chase down. And the timing on that block was spectacular, considering that the offensive player was significantly taller, no? Bago niya maitaas yung bola, nasa pool ka agad.
That's the reason why ICC is excelling in this tournament. You know, they have the players who can score, who can defend, and who's willing to do the dirty work.
And I'm sure the ICC Bluehawks is putting a lot of premium on their defense rather than their offense.
Meanwhile, Irvin Da will lose it, but I think we get it back. Aguinaldo from deep, rolls out of the rim.
In and out. Sorim is there for Aguinaldo. And yeah, I think that shot was also bothered by Joshua Milka who went for the block, no? Dun sa corner 3 na Aguinaldo na yun.
Meanwhile, they send it out. It's Rianoga with a basketball. He rises up for a 3. Come on!
Rianoga not needing much space to put up a shot and knock it down. His third 3 of this game.
More importantly, a 30-point lead once again by Rosario Batangas. Meanwhile, Magsino getting fouled. And that'll be free throws already as ICC already on the penalty. Actually, both teams, no more fouls to give.
And still good idea by Magsino to get it, to try and get it done at the low post, because so far kahit in this very sticky defense ng ICC Bluehawks, kahit pa paano yung interior defense nila ang medyo weak point.
First one is good for Magsino.
And Magsino that time not bothered by the slamming drums.
Second one on its way. Ready na ready yung band ng
Right.
ICC.
Right, naka-forma na.
Pag-release, palo agad.
Before the release. However, Magsino finding the bottom of the net, so nasanay na, no?
So 2 out of 2 for Magsino. It's a 28-point gap. Baliena using the screen. Baliena sends it out. Quick fire 3. In and out for Rianoga, but they get it back. It's with Rianoga once again. Rebound by Tomol. Here goes Baliena behind the back move. Steps in, but blocked by Daha. However, they got the rebound but missed the shot. Meanwhile, Daha inside to Arejola.
And that was a perfect fast break for San Pedro. A rare fast break for San Pedro. 3 passes and the conversion by Arejola.
And just like that, 3 quarters already done in this ball game. 64-36. 28-point gap in favor of the ICC Bluehawks. And we return for the start of our fourth and final period. Once again, this is Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL D-League.
The official ball of Junior MPBL D-League. Pound per pound, Bindiga Renzi. Nature Spring, #1 bottled water in the Philippines. Pound Active for quality sportswear. Jinkies Kid, empowering women by redefining beauty. Don Benitos, ang pambansang kasama. Red Dynasty Seafood Resort and Hotpot Restaurant. Winford Resort and Casino Manila.
It's 64-38 as we head on to our fourth and final period. Rosario Batangas ICC so far with a commanding lead of 28. Meanwhile, they have the possession. Reyanoga, no good on that long distance shot. Progilia will try from deep. Kaboom! Ronaldo. San Pedro is suffering. But the score that time is Echo Magpali.
First points para dito kay Echo and San Pedro Mamba, hoping that Echo will get his rhythm in this fourth quarter after being infused late in this game, no?
Definitely. I mean, yun na nga sabi mo, man, that's a big factor when you're late to the game. Hindi ka makapag-warm up and, you know, we fast forward to the fourth quarter and so far he's struggling.
Right. In the meantime, ito namang ICC Bluehawks bringing out the entire arsenal. When you think that Reyanoga is not in the game, Progilia hits a three in his stead.
That time Sandoval will block that shot coming from Baliena. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's going to be a foul.
And this is what San Pedro Mamba needs to do. Sabi nga ni Coach kanina, Mamba mentality. They have to stay aggressive, attack hard, drive hard to the basket as much as they could, no? Instead of settling for jumpers and outside shots.
So Seniedo comes back in the game. So it'll be a Seniedo and Baliena backcourt.
Right.
So two freebies coming from Magsino. Wala pa ring effect yung drums.
So far, parang wini-welcome na nitong si Monmon, no? Yung drums. Usually, these types of players, they imagine na para sa kanila yun eh. they're cheering for them. No?
Sakto, no? Pag-release, cheer kami.
And 2 for 2 once again for Monmon.
So baka nga mas effective ba kung meron eh.
I wonder if the drum group of ICC i-reverse psychology, bigla silang tatahimik, no? In the next trip by Magsino. Oh, interception!
Meanwhile, crazy shot right there.
Right. Magpali off the top of the board, no?
Yeah, way top.
Yeah, almost at the shot clock.
Meanwhile, Sir Winlaran, their big guy, handling the basketball, but sends it to Baliena. Against Aguinaldo, he will lose it. Out of bounds, but it will stay with ICC.
Baliena was spectacular in the second quarter, or in the third rather, has yet to make an impact here. Parang nabasa na yung mga layups niya eh, as he got blocked twice in this quarter.
Nature Spring timeout called by the Rosario Batangas ICC Bluehawks as they're up by a bunch. Almost 2 minutes passing by in our fourth and final period.
CRA.
Back to the action right here. Again, a commanding lead being by ICC. They have possession and Triste back in the ball game. So yung Fro Bros looking to work wonders again for their squad. Meanwhile,
look at that!
alley-oop play.
Series of strain as Laran goes to the back door and converting that alley-oop pass by Seniedo.
So far, that's 14 points already and 8 boards for Serwin Laran. Actually, marami silang contributors in this game. Let's take another look. Pinpoint passing.
And that was reminiscent of what Caloocan Batang Kankalu did versus Quezon City.
Yeah, that game winner.
Right. That game winner they did 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
at Cavite, no? Montano Hall.
Yes, and they will play later after this game actually
Right.
with the support of their home crowd.
Yes.
So,
And they-
so mamaya walang drums pero may replacement sa drums. Ang ingay ng mga tao.
Right. At it's going to be another battle of the northern Metro Manila teams. As Batang Kankalu will go up against the Novaliches Playmakers. So parang ano to, Cho, parang ko sa Game of Thrones. Bolton versus Stark. Bahala na kayo kung sino bida.
Kayo na lang mag-decide. Wala, hanggang season 2 lang ata natapos ko dun eh. Kaya nagets ko ng unti.
Sabay na spoiler ka na.
Sabay, okay na, ayoko na.
Wala na spoil. It got really good after season 3. Ano ko ba? So Mandala, Sandoval, doing what San Pedro needs to do. And as I've said, they really need to be aggressive inside the paint, get those fouls, stop the clock, and get points off those free throws.
But right now, it's a really big deficit. And they will have to play near perfect basketball. Lalo na itong ICC, they're not slowing down. I mean, Triste still inside, Seniedo still inside. Daha will knock it down from downtown.
Wow. That was Irving. So natapatan niya na yung isang tres ng kanyang brother. Oh! Almost not right.
Challenging the defense.
Yes.
So much bigger Irving Daha.
That was fearless on the part of Tristan.
Meanwhile, Sandoval muscling his way inside for 2.
And right now, San Pedro is getting it, that they really have to pound the interior. However, will they have enough time?
Yeah, and they cannot afford to go back and forth actually. They have to get defensive stops. Pero itong si Triste, mahirap talaga pigilan eh.
Right.
Yun na nga. Sends it out, Seniedo. The throw connection, back in it again.
And once again, pinpoint passing, getting that pass to a teammate who is in rhythm to shoot. And that is very important, especially for a point guard like Jonathan Ochenta, like Du Williams, Triste.
Meanwhile, Triste swipes that away. The William Triste gliding and soaring for 2.
Sumakay ka pa, just laying it up and in with the left versus a much taller defender.
Oh my goodness. Let's see that first, that fadeaway, or rather that mid-range jumper coming from Seniedo. And then after that, soaring, flying, sabi nga ni Zac Efron sa High School Musical.
Yun, bahala ka na doon.
Nature Spring Timeout, we'll be back. Back to the action.
Right. So, earlier I made a reference to the Game of Thrones. Ikaw naman, High School Musical. Bahala na ulit ang viewers natin kung paano tayo i-judge.
Medyo malayo yung ano eh.
Yung
Agwat eh.
gap malayo. Isa, Isang general patronage, isang arm.
Right now, it's 23-point lead being faced by San Pedro. That time, Pepe erasing that shot.
Right. So in effect was that interior defense by the ICC Bluehawks. Sabi niya, Pepe, kanina nyo pa kami binubuli dito sa loob. Now let's see if San Pedro Mamba will think twice now that Pepe is back in the game.
Daha, the spin. Posting up. This is Lara, sends it out to his brother. Daha, the other Daha, who missed that shot. They will get it back. Mancino. And a call from our officials.
Reach-in foul called against Pepe right there. And Magsino really working hard not to get those offensive rebounds and create opportunities for his teammates.
Daha, up top. Irvin, this time it's Magsino against Pepe.
Oh, bully ball!
Well, at least an attempt to
Right.
bully. Pero mahirap i-bully itong si Pepe.
Right, but however, Magsino was able to get himself underneath the basket after a couple of dribbles right there.
So another trip to the free throw line is San Pedro and Magsino. They can set a 23-point lead. I mean, it's not impossible for them to come back, but again, they will have to play near perfect basketball.
Right.
Lalo na on defense.
Right, and I think Magsino right now is feeling the effects of fatigue. The last free throw was way short. Pero napulso niya ulit.
So far, it's 8 points for Magsino, along with 5 boards and 1 dime. So Triste still not exiting the game. Looking to make his impact even more. So far has 12 points, or rather 10 points, 3 boards, and 7 assists. As Laran attacks and won't connect, but actually possession going now to San Pedro. And slowly but surely our venue napupuno na.
Right. Last touch called against Pepe there, jumping behind the back of Irving Daha.
Magsino against Pepe. Magsino sends it out. Arejola. This time it's Daha. He attacks. No good from Irvin. Another try. Finally goes in for him.
Irving Daha, nahawa na siya kay Magsino no, sa extra effort na ginagawa. And there's Magsino. There, enabling them to get the steal.
Good job. An unselfish play coming from Magpali to Aguinaldo.
Right, selfless play by Magpali there. 2-1-1 situation, he could have taken that shot. Pero elected to pass it to a teammate with better position. Here they are once again.
Arejola to Magpali. Nature Springs timeout called by the ICC Bluehawks, as a mini run has been engaged right here by San Pedro. And we'll return after this timeout. Once again, this is Manny Pacquiao Jr. MPBL D-League.
Na lang.
Back to the action right here. 4 minutes 32 remaining. Just a 16-point lead right here for Rosario Batangas ICC.
This lead was as high as 30 points, Joe. But San Pedro, through the efforts of Magsino, Magpali, and Aguinaldo, was able to cut it down to 16. Well, sama mo na rin, of course, ang effort nitong si Irvin Daha.
Exactly, but that is the reason why hindi pa lumalabas ng game itong si San Diego at Triste.
Right.
They will have to do the things they do But that time it's no good. Pepe tried to save it, but possession going to San Pedro Mamba.
Last attempt by the Rosario Batangas ICC Bluehawks was a forced shot by Seniedo. He was very well defended, not just by one defender, but two. Pero pinilit niya and missed the shot.
Meanwhile, Aguinaldo. Aguinaldo sends it out. Arejola from deep. Short got it short. They take it inside, off the glass, courtesy of Sandoval.
Again, San Pedro Mamba working extra hard to get those offensive rebounds and the putbacks.
Meanwhile, Sherwin Laran gets the front of the rim. And here goes Aguinaldo. Sends it out, mid-range jumper, that connects.
Right, that was just a long two by Magpali. Nonetheless, the lead is just 12, Joe.
Yeah, slowly but surely, itong koponan ng San Pedro coming close.
Right.
So far, Magpali has, only 6 points in this game, but lumalapit sila courtesy of his teammates.
Right, and those 6 points are coming in the most opportune time para sa San Pedro Mamba. However, will they have enough time with only 3 minutes and 13 left here in the game?
That is the question we all want to find the answer to. Meanwhile, Laran pulls one up. That won't fall. Stay rising up. But that's out of bounds. And mukhang successful naman kasi babalik sa kanila yung bola.
Right, what a play for the offensive rebound. Do William Triste rising above everybody considering that he is the smallest guy on the floor.
And it's, you know what they say, small guys come in big packages. That's a knockout play. Coming from ICC.
Designated in boundary level, si Seniedo, no?
Oh, three-point bomb. Coming in from Eko Magpali. He has 9 points.
And what a time for Magpali to finally find his rhythm in this game.
Indeed, as they're just down by 11. And Daha now entering as San Pedro will have to go all out in the next minutes.
Under 3 minutes ang natitira na lang dito, but San Pedro, kahit papano, testing the mettle of this ICC Bluehawks team who has lost the 30-point lead that they posted earlier in the third.
But they still have a double-digit lead. So
hand check.
Something to hold on to.
Hand check foul called against Monmon Magsino.
So again, it's just an 11-point deficit. So far, it's Sandoval leading the charge for San Pedro. Not the guy you expect, actually. Just a testament to how it has been an overall team effort. Triste outside. The pick from Pepe. To William. Stops. Now inside. Inside a key jumper off the glass.
Again, Triste keeping their heads above water. Talking about the ICC Bluehawks.
They will stay with them.
Quick hands by Laran.
It's a good job for him on disrupting the play, but however, it will stay with San Pedro.
Yeah, because the baseline was open already for Magpali, but Laran was able to deflect that ball.
Oh, Magsino gets it back after that missed three from Daha, and he puts it back in. Last 2 minutes right here, the twilight zone. And Aguinaldo gets the stick for ICC. Bali. This time it's Aguinaldo. Once again, to Magsino. Against Pepe. Oh, in traffic. Basket and one.
Right. Monmon Magsino playing way above his level right now. Getting it done para dito sa San Pedro Mamba. And yeah, credit that entry pass by Aguinaldo. It was perfect right dun sa buelo, no? Right in rhythm ni Magsino.
Pound for pound fitness foul counted move courtesy of Monmon Magsino to cut the lead to just single digits. And a chance to make it 8. What an effort right here, at least so far, by the boys from San Pedro. But nonetheless, 2 minutes remaining, and they will complete that 3-point play. It's down to 8.
Great soft touch on the release by Juan Magsino.
Meanwhile, ICC, Triste this time. Looks like they will take their time. Pepe. Oh, rejected the screen. It's now Triste against Arejola. He puts on the move, uses the screen this time. Seniedo attacks. Almost a turnover. Laran almost lost it inside. Oh, no good on that alley-oop. But the shot clock reset because that ball hit the rim.
Right, and Volante, great awareness on the shot clock. Didn't bring the ball down. They tried to get an alley-oop to go, or at least hit the ring and get the offensive rebound. So they have a fresh, right now, 12 seconds to shoot.
So Seniedo, the one to bring it out from the baseline. Picked up by Eko Magpali. Pepe tried to get free. And Seniedo tried to pass it to Volante. But that's out of bounds, and possession looks to stay with the ICC. Oh, wait a minute, that's going to be a foul actually.
Right.
So that's no more fouls to give for both teams.
That foul was called against Monmon Magsino, trying to deny Laran the pass. Several times dito sa baseline inbound, no? ICC, nakakadalawang knockout plays na sila at least.
Meanwhile, Seniedo, high pass to Laran. Oh, that was too strong.
Right.
This time it's Eko Magpali all the way. Oh! Cuts it to 6.
And before that shot by Magpali, good job on the coverage by Magsino against Laran. Getting Laran off balance, no?
Oh, they almost lost it. Laran has it. And they lose it completely. Aguinaldo on the run. To Magpali again. Eko Magpali now has 13 points. As there's just under a minute remaining. Let's take another look. First on this breakaway. The first breakaway from Eko Magpali. And then this one, the second breakaway. Again, has 13 points and has a personal 4-0 run. Cutting the lead to just 4 for ICC as we'll return after this timeout. Back to the action right here again. After a personal 4-0 run from Eko Magpayo, the lead is now just down to 4 for ICC. Last 50.5 seconds remaining.
And as we've said, so this lead was 30 points midway in the third quarter, no, by the ICC Bluehawks. But San Pedro Mamba has made a ball game out of this, most in the fourth period.
So it's now in the hands of the ICC Bluehawks. Triste against Aguinaldo, almost lost it, but it's still with him. Triste being pressured. Uses the screen from Laran. Triste, nowhere to go, sends it out. Volante will choose to attack, but that's gonna be a foul. As Triste on the floor seems to be in pain, but looks to be okay as he just stands up. May onting limp itong si William Triste.
Right.
So we're all hoping he's okay, but for ICC, baka malaking hit yan. Oh, he is indeed going to be subbed by Baliena.
Well, Baliena was on the floor.
Oh.
And I believe Seniedo will come back in for Triste right now.
So on the line is Bulante. He has 11 points in this game. First one is good. Make that 12 points and 1 rebound. Scored the first 7 points of ICC in this ball game. And he goes 2 out of 2.
Joshua Bolante, ice in his veins, knocking down 2 all-important free throws to give his lead a bit of a cushion here. 6 points versus San Pedro.
35 seconds remaining. Major sprint timeout called by San Pedro as we return after this short break.
Si Triste yung huling nakashoot, di ba? Oh, Triste.
Last 35.8 seconds remaining in this ball game. And a 6-point lead by Rosario Batangas after a 2 out of 2 trip from Joshua Bolante. So time is not the friend of San Pedro right here, but you know, they've come a long way. Why give up now?
Right. It is still doable with 35.8 seconds. It's just a 6.2 possession ball game, no? 6-point lead.
Patty steps back to fire a 3. Wow! 16 points for Echo Magpali.
And as the ICC drums echoes in the venue, so does Echo Magpali knocking down that 3.
Talk about stepping up. Magpali gets it. Magpali, the spin. Aguinaldo back to Magpali inside to Sandoval. It's a 1-point game.
And Sandoval was asking for a foul as he claimed he got hit in the head.
Meanwhile, last 14 seconds.
What effort!
Triste
They have to foul.
will attack.
And they fouled on the act of shooting. Though, lucky for San Pedro, that did not fall. No, it almost went in.
So even if Triste makes 2, there's still a chance for San Pedro.
To tie with a 3-point shot.
Exactly.
But what effort here by Echo Magpali. Oh, he misses.
So they still really definitely have a chance.
And we've said earlier, this comeback by the San Pedro Mamba is really a test of the mettle of the ICC Bluehawks team.
And they're shooting 38% from the 3 right now. That's 7 out of 18. So that's an option for them as well. However, Triste will make it as a 2-point gap. A little bit of cushion.
Right.
They will have to defend very well.
I think San Pedro has run out of timeouts. Oh, that was a bad pass.
Big time error coming from Tala.
And that would be it.
Irvin Daha.
Wow. Miscommunication on the inbound. And yet, talk about a momentum breaker right there.
And that error, one error, erased all of that effort. I mean,
Right, coming back from 30 points.
that is a big hit. I mean, you cannot blame him. The drums were there, the pressure was there. He's a young kid after all, even if he's a member of the Batangas squad.
It was just a matter of communication, and it did not help that San Pedro did not have any timeouts left, no, to call.
Definitely the drums helped because they didn't hear each other speak.
Right.
Let's take another look.
Wala silang headset katulad natin.
I mean, you know, last touch, actually we're gonna look at this last replay. Last touch was actually on Apepe.
But of course, but of course, still credit the defense of this ICC Bluehawks in forcing that turnover, especially itong si Du Williams Triste.
Exactly. I mean, the William Triste has been that guy.
Yes.
Not for this game only, but for every game actually. And that'll do it. Congratulations to the ICC Bluehawks, Rosario, Batangas, for escaping a close game against Pedro Mamba, 82-78.
And right now, the drums are going wild for the ICC Bluehawks Rosario Batangas, as this was a hell of a game. We thought it was over at the start of the fourth with the ICC getting a 30-point lead over San Pedro Mamba, but the Mambas with a Mamba mentality getting back into this one, but just falling short right at the last 2 seconds.
Exactly. I mean, they led by as much as 30. They should have won the game. But good for them, they did. Now up next, Caloocan, Batangas, the homeowners, going up against the visiting Novaliches playmakers. Stay tuned for the post-game interview, of course, done by our first reporter, Richie Sanggalang. But right now, we shall take a short break. And once again, this has been Joe Pangilinan, Eman Cabiles, and Richie Sanggalang. This is Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL D-League.
Ligan ng bayan na to, mga kabataan na sugod, Junior MPBL para sa'yo, ang liga ng bawat batang Pilipino. Ligan ng bayan na to, klaro na to, huwag kang sumuko sa gustong gawin. Isang pangarap, isang tagumpay, yeah. Gabay at pag-asa ng bayan, landas pagbabago, pag-asa, ikaw ang mahalaga. Iba't iba, pero isang halaga. Nagkakaisa, nagmamahalan, nagtutulungan. Ligan ng bayan na to, mga kabataan na sugod.
Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
Would like to thank Dorite Bola ng Pinoy, the first Pinoy basketball brand, Don Benitos, ang pambansang cassava, Nature Spring, #1 bottled water in the Philippines, pound for pound fitness, Be Liga Ready, Jinky Skin, empowering women by redefining beauty, Pound Active, for quality sportswear, Wing Bowl, it's like coming home, Chris Jacob Collection, for affordable but quality daily perfumes,